Breaking overnight, left for dead, how an innocent motorcyclist wound up a casualty along the I-5 in Barrio Logan.
Money matters, the bitter battle between San Diego's mayor and the city leaders, why millions of your tax dollars are at stake.
And stealth fighters, the bold move by the U.S. overnight and what it hopes that this move will prove to North Korea.
Live from the Scripps Studios, this is San Diego's news source, 10 News.
It is 6 o'clock on this Thursday, the 27th? 8th?
It's
what are we at? 28? My goodness.
It's early in the morning and you always...
Well, I've just lost track of how fast this month has gone by because it's going to be Easter on Sunday. It's just going crazy. But we're going to have everything you need to start your day. I'm Bill Griffin.
And nice to have you with us. I'm Koshal Patel. We bring you weather and traffic every 10 minutes. Can't believe that Easter is in March this year. We have Robert Santos out for some R&R. Ashley DeMartino's in the 10 News Pinpoint Center. So how is our weekend looking? Because everybody's looking forward to that.
Everybody looking forward to the weekend. It starts off nice, but it ends on a bit of a wet note, and we'll get to that in just a bit. But let's talk about what we're seeing outside right now this morning with those overcast skies. Our temperatures are sitting in the 50s for us this morning. We are seeing some areas that are in the upper 40s right now, but will warm nicely throughout the day. Clouds along the coast. We will see some light winds mid-afternoon, but our afternoon temperatures will end up in the mid to the upper 60s for most cities. Inland, we will be seeing mostly clear conditions. A very pleasant day expected for us. 68 by noon and 71 the expected high for us this afternoon. We will take a look at that storm system that is coming our way, which will bring us a chance of some showers for us this weekend and into the start of April for us as well. Right now, taking a look at traffic with Melissa Messiha. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, one new incident to report here. This one on the 15 South, right at the 5. A crash reported there. Fortunately, no injuries in that one, and we're not seeing too much slowing because of it. Now, we're watching other areas for your morning commute here on the 125. If you are taking that northbound from Hammershaw to the 52, you're looking at a 9-minute commute there. Also, the 163, this is a live look right by Balboa where traffic is light, and up to Sky 10 we go. This is a live look here at the Coronado Bridge where at this point we're starting to see things pick up, but so far no major delays here at 6:01 in the morning. We'll check out things closer to the coast. That's coming up at your next traffic check.
Minute after breaking overnight, a motorcycle in pieces, but the rider miraculously escaped with his life after being hit on the 5 freeway. 10 News reporter John Carroll live at the scene in Barrio Logan at the 515 exchange with what nearly cost that rider his life. John, it's amazing.
It really was, Bill. When you take a look at this video, when I first looked at it this morning, it was pretty amazing. You're right. Well, right now, traffic is moving just fine on the 5 southbound. Don't even see any cars right now. That's a big difference from just a few hours ago. The 5 south near the 15 had to be closed as paramedics treated a motorcycle driver. Now, the CHP says it appears a silver VW GTI was racing with a red Honda Civic sedan when one of those cars slammed into the back of the motorcycle. Fortunately, driver his injuries are said to be not life-threatening, but take a look at how lucky he is. Pieces of his motorcycle scattered all over the freeway. The force of that impact so severe that it actually ripped the bike apart. You could see black gashes in his helmet. But in the midst of all the destruction and his injuries, there's a paramedic comforting the man by holding his hands. Now, the fact that the motorcyclist was wearing protective gear, really a testament to how important that is. As we were saying, he was taken to a nearby hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. His motorcycle had Baja California plates, so it's believed he's a Mexican national. Live in Barrio Logan, John Carroll, 10 News.
John, thank you. 3 minutes after 6 o'clock. Happening today, $30 million and 85 jobs are at stake as the war of words between the mayor and the city council heats up. City council is meeting today about some changes that will impact San Diegans. 10 News reporter Hannah Mullins is live at the Embarcadero with what's at stake. Good morning, Hannah.
Good morning, Koshal. And we're in front of the Coast Guard. People come here for the military. They also come here for the water. They come here for the activities. But the first thing you see when you fly in is the skyline. So question is, how can we get more people to fly in and bring their pocketbooks? Well, that's where Mayor Bob Filner and the Tourism Marketing District can't seem to agree. Now, the TMD promotes San Diego as a vacation destination. The district and employee salaries are funded by a 2% hotel room surcharge. It all hinges on the mayor's signature, which he just won't give. alternative. Filner doesn't think people should have to pay for something they never voted for as required by law. He says hotels don't need the city's marketing help. A judge ruled it's within his power as mayor not to sign off, but said the council can force him to. They'll work to figure out how to do that this afternoon at 3:30. As you can see, 10 News was at Tuesday's hearing, which got pretty heated as more than 100 tourism workers showed up to fight for approval.
This is a sad day for San Diego that we have come to this. And we probably all should apologize to the city for bringing us to this point. But I think in the arrogance of that board who thinks they can win everything, they took me to court. Guess what? I won the case.
And you're looking at the bumper sticker, which is starting to circulate to recall the mayor. Meanwhile, the TMD says 85 jobs are on the line and a $5.4 million ad campaign has been put on hold. We're live at the Embarcadero. Hannah Mullins, 10 News.
Hannah, thank you. Happening today, Mayor Bob Filner is meeting with several local and state officials about to talk about school safety. Filner will be joined by Senator Barbara Boxer and local law enforcement officials to talk about Boxer's bill, which is aimed at strengthening campus security. The bill would provide schools with grants to help them install classroom locks, reinforce doors, and other measures to keep students safe.
New from overnight, Chula Vista police are looking for the man who called 911 to say he'd been stabbed in the back. So the cops went to the corner of Broadway and Main in Chula Vista after they got the call, but his friends say that the guy ran off. Police searched on the ground and by helicopter for an hour before they finally gave up.
This morning, several suspected illegal immigrants are under arrest. A small speedboat ran aground at Sunset Cliffs Wednesday night, and 10 News cameras caught a handful of people jumping off the boat and running off. Police say at least one woman and 2 men were arrested. Department of Homeland Security was flying its chopper overhead looking through neighborhoods for more people. On Tuesday, the same kind of boat ran aground in the same place.
Breaking overnight while you slept, the Pentagon flew stealth bombers from the U.S. to Korea and back. A pair of those B-2s made the 12,000-mile round trip, from Whiteman Air Base in Missouri to South Korea, where they dropped dummy bombs on a missile range. That's those great-looking planes right there. The mission was clearly meant to show North Korea America's capability of pulling off such a devastating airstrike, because this came just hours after Pyongyang cut the last remaining hotline with the South and prepared its military to attack American bases on Guam and even Hawaii. The UN has until the end of the day to come up with a global arms treaty to regulate weapons. For years, governments, including America, have pushed the UN for an agreement to keep guns and other weapons away from terrorists and organized crime. But Iran, Egypt, and India oppose parts of the arms treaty being discussed today. The UN diplomats have to come up with regulations which all 193 countries can agree on.
Now to developing stories. Lawyers for Oscar Pistorius appealed against some of the Olympic athletes' bail restrictions and won. Melissa Messia is back now with the arguments that were made in a court in the South African capital. Good morning.
Good morning, Koshal. Within the last couple hours, we learned a judge says Oscar Pistorius can leave South Africa to compete, but there are some conditions here. Pistorius must give a week's notice of travel and he must submit an itinerary. He also needs to return his passport to the court within 24 hours of returning to South Africa. The double amputee runner is charged with murdering his girlfriend on Valentine's Day. His lawyers argue that the Olympian was being treated as a flight risk, even though a magistrate ruled he was not when he was released on bail. Now, Pistorius was not present for today's appeal. I checked his next court date, and it's scheduled for June 4th. Melissa Messia, 10 News.
New from overnight, banks in Cyprus have reopened for the first time in nearly 2 weeks, but depositors are under strict restrictions as to how much money they can withdraw from their accounts. The maximum cash withdrawal is 300 euros a day per person, and no checks are being cashed. And anybody leaving Cyprus can only take up to 1,000 euros with them. Banks closed because politicians were scrambling to come up with a plan to raise enough money to qualify for a 10 billion euro bailout.
European stocks are up this morning, but Asian stocks slipped overnight, which will have some investors in the U.S. watching Wall Street closely when the markets open up in about half an hour. Wednesday was a mixed day on Wall Street. Dow lost 33 points while the Nasdaq gained 4, and then S&P was down a point. We'll check the markets 15 minutes after they open up, coming up at 6:45 this morning.
It's 8 after. Investigators in L.A. have impounded a truck which they think was used to kidnap a 10-year-old Northridge girl. The girl was taken from her bed Wednesday morning and held by two men in an abandoned house just a few miles from where she lives. They held her for a couple of hours before they dropped her off at a hospital in Woodland Hills. The girl, instead of going into the hospital, wandered barefoot into a coffee shop. The girl has some cuts and bruises. They haven't said whether she was sexually assaulted. They're looking for two men in their late teens, and for some reason they're looking into a storage unit.
Well, happening today, Swiss engineers are showing off a first-of-its-kind solar-powered plane, and they're announcing details of their planned flight across North America in May. The plane is called the Solar Impulse, and it's designed to showcase the potential of solar power to help power planes. But of course, its creators say it will never completely replace fuel.
And good morning, everyone. We are waking up to some overcast skies with patchy fog in some of our inland valleys this morning, but not as strong as it has been over this past week. Current temperatures outside put most of us sitting in the 50s, waking up to some very mild conditions this morning. What we're going to be seeing throughout the day is hazy sunshine along the coast and some bright sunshine for inland valleys. Our 10 News Pinpoint Futurecast, when we put it into motion, shows you that we should see that marine layer moving out by the time that we head into about 9 a.m. It will hug right along the coast even throughout the afternoon, start to push a little bit more inland as we head into that 4 o'clock hour for us. And by the time that we head into 9 o'clock tonight, it'll definitely move in, and that's where it will sit as we head into our overnight hours and the start of the day for tomorrow. We are tracking the next storm system, this upper level low system seeking towards the southeast right now. Most models in agreement at this point that we'll start to see it moving into Southern California for Sunday afternoon to start to bring us some scattered showers that day. For today, though, again, things are staying nice and dry. It is the start of our warming trend for us as our temperatures will be right around the seasonal average. Here's your 7-day forecast. The temperatures continue to warm for Friday with 68 as the expected high. We'll continue to see those overnight and morning clouds to bring us some fog over the next couple of mornings. For inland, we will be warming to the mid-70s with 74 expected for your Friday. Chance of showers beginning on Sunday and lingering into Monday for us. Melissa Masiha has a look at our traffic this morning. Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning. All right, Thursday morning here. We're going to start off with things here along the coast. Taking a look at the 5 up in the far north county. This is a live picture here, the 5 just north of the 76. In this location at 6:11 in the morning, traffic moving along nicely here. Now moving on down to the South Bay, watching your 5 commute there from Sky 10. The 5 north starting to pick up at this hour. I do believe we have Sky 10. There we go. South Bay commute always pretty much congested, but so far the 5 north travels moving in the lower 60s. It's going to slow down though as the morning commute continues. We will keep you posted there. All right, we'll check in with the CHP and take a look at any new hazards that pop up. That's coming up here next.
12 minutes after honoring Cesar Chavez, the message the hundreds who expected to attend today will take away with them.
He said a couple words, threw a punch, and it was on like Donkey Kong.
Road rage, how things got even more terrifying after that confrontation.
And chain restaurants required to tell you the calorie and fat content of their foods, but we'll show you how Consumer Reports says a lot of them are not telling you what's really going on. And don't forget, you can connect with us during a live newscast here on Twitter at the handles you see there on your screen or on Facebook as well. We'd love to hear from you.